Well, well.
Welcome to Dad Crossing, a podcast about animals. Today's topic is that info-packed direct we just watched. With me today is Nick Nook Miles Metzger.
You said it, Dan. It is directness, it is animalness, and I could not be more pumped to be here. Let me tell you.
Indeed. Also joining us is Sean Mystery Tour Abbott.
I cannot be any more excited about this if I tried.
You could hear it. You could hear it.
The hype is real in this room. And I'm Dan Party Play Caparello.
I'm trying to be a little bit quiet this morning.
Yeah, you've got a new recording room, and you sound great, but you do need to stay quiet, unfortunately, because your family is asleep. Also, my family's asleep.
Yeah, and my wife is probably going to come down here and be like, shut up.
I don't want to hear any more Animal Crossing talk. But you know who does want to hear Animal Crossing talk is our dear listeners. So we're going to jump right into this direct. We have it laid out right in front of us. In order, every piece of content, every new thing. And we are going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start reading info. And you guys, if there's anything that you want to jump in on or say something about, you just wave me down.
Will do.
Because this has the potential to be a 2-hour podcast if we're not.
Definitely.
Okay, so we have Tom Nook. He gets up there. He's like, hey, welcome to your new deserted island that you're going to have to pay for. And he goes into part 1 of the info refresher. And we start off with being able to choose the layout of your island from a small selection. Was that in New Leaf also? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you got a choice of areas of where you wanted your town and what you wanted it to look like. That's
cool. I thought I had remembered that, but it's good that you just played that because my memory is foggy. You can also choose your tent location, which has been a staple in the series for a little while. But being able to also choose where your animal residents live, that's relatively new, I think.
Yeah. So in New Leaf, you could choose your tent location or your house location and everything. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's not new, but it is still cool. We also saw that there are some new activities related to each season of the year. So in fall, you can collect seeds, mushrooms, and leaves now. And then in winter, you can build a snowman, which you could do before. But now there was a tiny little clip that I caught where the character shook a tree and a Christmas ornament fell down instead of a fruit.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to decorate my tree in my house.
Stealing decorations.
No, is it stealing if it's in the public? Yeah, it is. It's stealing. I'm not going to pretend that's not stealing. It is 100%.
Welcome
stealing.
to Dad Crossing, the ethics and moral podcast.
Yeah, well, ethics and morals in Animal Crossing are questionable to begin with. So, moving on, we have 2 facilities included as soon as you land on the island. We have residential services building, which is open 24 hours, which is awesome.
Yes, we love those kind of buildings.
You can buy everyday items, sell items, attend DIY workshops, this is kind of a good place to talk about DIY, which is the crafting system in this game, which we are all very hype about. You chop down a tree, and instead of just getting wood, or instead of just getting the fruit from the tree and a stump, you actually get wood from the tree, or like you get pebbles from rocks and minerals that you can use in the resident services building to make things like workbenches and torches. A lot like Minecraft, but I mean, if you're going to copy somebody.
Yeah, so the way I took it was that if you want to get these recipes for this crafting that you do in the resident services on this workbench, you have to go to these daily DIY workshops. Like, is that how you gathered it? Because it was like, I thought be sure to look in daily on our DIY workshops.
Oh, did they say daily? I thought it was just on demand.
Yeah, looking at it from the broadcast every morning that Tom Nook gives, he sort of outlines what activities are going to be going on in the 24-hour building.
Okay.
Resident services, that's the one. Sorry. So yeah,
Good.
so
I
it's
didn't
like
catch that.
yeah, it's different recipes are available to you daily. So every time you log in, you'll have a new recipe that you can go and learn. So it's sort of like ties you into please come in every day because you'll learn something new.
That makes sense. If I miss a day, I'm going to be real mad about it. But
Seriously.
that's the gist of Animal Crossing, isn't it?
It really is. It's the same thing going back to like right when it would be you first started. You were like, just give me the fishing pole because like only one item showed up at Nooks or however it worked, and you're just like you just wanted like the fishing pole or the shovel, and so yeah, it's that same feel, and I bet that's how that's gonna work. It's like today we DIY the shovel, and you're like, no, I want the fishing pole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you can also use the resident services building to customize furniture and color patterns later on, and get helpful advice, which I'll probably never use or look at.
The customized part things looked really interesting in the fact that you could use your own designs that you've built on New Leaf or Happy Home Designer and incorporate them using the real life app on the phone to drop them in. That looks really good.
Yeah, that looked really cool. That's probably the best use of the cell phone Nintendo Switch Online app that we've seen yet for any of the games. Smash Brothers or Splatoon. So moving on, the next building that you start off with is the airport building, which is where you land when you first get on your island. That's also where you can invite others to your island using local or online play, and use the airport to go to other people's islands. Just a side note here that we learned is that 8 people can be on an island at one time. 4 players can be on an island per Switch. And you will need a second game and a Switch to play.
To play for 8 people.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
An in-game postal service. Oh, also at the airport is an in-game postal service to send messages and gifts to other residents. I hope that lets you send gifts and messages to your friends online.
Yeah, it seemed kind of cagey. I couldn't, like, I don't know. Maybe they were just inferring that, and I'm just being like, I want stuff too straightforward. But I wasn't certain if that was the case.
It said other residents in the video, which makes me think it's not online. But I hope that that's a feature they implement later. That's definitely something I would want.
I'm going to have to watch again just I think there was some fine print at that point. I watched the direct through Justin over an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't quite pause because I was too busy watching his reaction to things. So it was nice to get excited with him. But yeah, there was definitely fine print at these areas where it dealt with online multiplayer that I should have really paused and had a really good look at. But yeah, I was excited. The hype was building, so I just carried on watching.
Oh yes, seriously.
I watched it 3 times to make this list. But if you don't believe me, then you, by all means, go back and watch it. I won't be offended.
No, it's a very good list.
It's a wonderful list, but I'll probably go back and watch it.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I'll probably go back and watch it. Crying out loud. We've got the next thing on our list is in the direct was Nook Inc. services. The first one is your Nook phone. And I made a list of all the apps that I saw available on your Nook phone throughout the whole video. So you've got your camera, your map, Nook Miles, which we're going to go over later, DIY recipes that you have, your passport, which I guess that lets you go online. Like that's probably something that you don't have right away. And then later they'll be like, you unlocked the passport now. Now you can go to other people's islands, because you probably can't do that right off the bat.
That's probably true. And it would be really cool. So, you know, all the towns have the town flag, right? Yeah. It would be great if, as you're going into a new town, you get like your passport gets stamped with their flag, so that it's just like you can like keep track of where you have gone from the airport. I think that's what I thought.
Yeah, I definitely want that to be a thing.
Yeah, definitely go collecting passport stamps.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Be great.
The other apps are Custom Designs, which presumably is where you draw your own designs, and Party Play, which is what they're calling their multiplayer mode. And then and then they also said that there will be new apps over time, and we'll go over Party Play a little more later on in the video. The next thing is island-wide broadcast, which is basically Tom Nook standing up in front of you as you log into the game. Actually, he said every morning. So what I'm guessing is it's going to be kind of like the Squid Sisters, because as soon as there's a rotation this is how it works in Splatoon. Whenever there's a rotation of stages for multiplayer, you have to watch the Squid Sisters broadcast, and then the whole game kind of resets because it's a bit of a living online world. So I bet Tom Nook is the same thing. What's going to happen is if you're playing at 5 a.m, all of a sudden at 4:59, and then at 5 a.m, Tom Nook's going to show up and say, "Oh, it's the next day now. Everything you did the next day, we're going to reset. All the holes you digged are going to be filled in, the weeds are going to grow, and now it's a new day." That's because that's just kind of what I imagine. The closest thing I can think of to that is Splatoon. Does that make sense to anybody else but me?
It does a little. I hope it's not like that, in the sense of, like, the one thing I always hated in Splatoon when you'd come in and you'd have to like sit through the Squid Sisters routine. You're just like hitting the button like, I don't care, just let me play.
Yes.
So you're probably right, and I'm probably not going to be a super big fan of that. It's just a little nitpicky thing, but and I will probably be doing the same thing. Like, thank you, Tom. I get it. Let me move on.
Yeah, it's the same. And another thought I had is it's the same thing as the Blood Moon in Breath of the Wild. They have to have a way to like reset the world at some point,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on New Leaf, whenever you log in on New Leaf, and I can only reference that because it's the only one I played. It's the only one I'm playing at the moment. Every time you log in, you've got Isabel telling you that it's this time, this day, and that this resident's moving in, this resident's moving out, or giving you an up-to-date run of your popularity in the town and things like that. So I don't know if it's the same as that, just every time you jump into the game.
Totally. Yeah. It'll be just like that. And hopefully it's semi-skippable. Like, you can burn through his talking really quickly. Because it gets really old.
All right. Well, we'll be clipping that for later use for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Did you like it? I thought it was a pretty good impression.
I thought it was great. That was wonderful.
So the third thing on the Nook Inc. services list is Nook Mileage Program. It's basically an achievement system. You earn miles by, for example, catching 10 fish, talking to residents and getting certain responses from them, catching bugs. You use the Nook miles to pay off your getaway package. So that's a thing.
I thought that was interesting.
There are bells in the game because later when he says, "You owe me 98,000 bells," he says bells explicitly. So, and eventually they could be used for in-game rewards, such as exclusive clothing, Tom Nook or Nook Miles tickets, which we'll learn more about later, custom. And then there's also apps you can unlock using the miles, like the Custom Design Pro editor and the tool ring, which they showed off a little bit. That's where you don't have to go into your inventory and select a tool. You just open the tool ring and select it really quick, and you have it. So it seems like they're piecemealing the content out to us very slowly so that newer players and less experienced players don't get overwhelmed.
I'm thinking the tool ring thing on New Leaf, it's all done on the D-pad. So left and right on the D-pad cycles through the different tools that you've got in your inventory. Press down to put them all away. But also along the lines of Nook Miles, you've got the Meow vouchers in New Leaf.
That's right.
Your different tasks, you earn Meow vouchers, which you can then redeem for a set amount of bells. I'm wondering if if you use a Nook Miles to pay off a Nook franchise, shall we say. But you can also redeem them for bells to pay back your loan for
definitely.
Whatever.
I don't think you can redeem anything but paying back your loan until your loan is paid off.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I feel like that was part of what they said. They said eventually you can redeem them for rewards. So my guess is that you have to pay off your loan first.
He's definitely monopolizing people.
Yeah.
I like this in the sense that when we did, so I played a game called Dragon Quest Builders, and I'm not a big Minecraft fan because I just get so confused in the world. Like, what am I doing in here? I don't really know what I want to do first. But Dragon Quest Builders has this like thing where it takes you and you're just like, you do this, you do that. You can do whatever you want, but here's a list of things that you can do if you want to progress the story, or if you want to move forward, or if you're confused about what to do. And I feel like that's what this is for Animal Crossing. You get these people that enter the world, and they're like,
list of tasks.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know what I'm going to do in this world. Like, I could do anything, but I'm like paralyzed, analysis paralysis, people. And so this is like the thing that's like, here are some things to do, and it's just like, okay, So I really appreciate where they've gone with this. At first, I was like, why are they not using bells?
Yeah. You're totally right about Minecraft. I've spent a pretty good amount of time in Minecraft. It took me a while to get to the place where I can just jump into a fresh world and know exactly what to do, because it doesn't tell you anything explicitly. Nothing.
Yeah, aims and objectives I like. So I think that's quite good that I need to do this, and this because I want to do that.
A bit of hand-holding is not a bad thing, especially when it's all optional like this.
Right. Totally.
The last thing on the Nook services thing is the rescue services, where if you get lost on your island, you will be teleported back to your tent. That's that.
This is very interesting, though, because there's a lot. This has to be about something we're probably talking about further. You can probably terrain yourself into a corner. And totally. This is why they had to have this in there, because they specifically say it's possible that you will find yourself lost on the island. No, it's not possible. like it's an island, it's a square. You got a big map, it shows you where you are. So
the more I think about it, though, there's a lot of traversal options that they give you. Like there's a ladder, there's a pole vault, you can jump over rivers. So I don't know that necessarily terrain is what's going to prevent you. I think it's more like when you first start out, your island is so wild and uninhabited that everything looks the same. That might be more what they're leaning towards.
You think? I don't
necessarily agree with you on the terrain locking you in part.
Well, I mean, like the terrain editor is what I'm talking about, not the terrain itself.
No, I know. Okay. Right. I just think that they give you so many traversal tools that I don't think that's a problem as much. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Place bets and we'll see, Nick.
That's great. Let's do it.
They must have got themselves stuck to think, we need to put this in. So the devs will have tested that.
It totally is. You're right, Joe. I mean, somehow.
They're like, we keep getting stuck. What are we going to do? Their play testers are so frustrated. Okay. And then a couple optional extras after moving on with the video. You can build a house. Yes, there are bells, and you have to pay off your house. The house system looks just like every other Animal Crossing, which I'm very happy about, except for the part where it says your house has internal storage. It just seems like invisible storage. If you're holding something and you're in your house, you can select put into storage on the menu and it goes away. I love it. Except I might forget it. I might forget it's there, but I love that.
I'm old, so that used to be called the basement in previous Animal Crossing games. Yeah. So
as you can see behind me, it's the garage in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an awesome new home designing options, 3D camera that lets you rotate and design just like Happy Home Designer, which we all wanted, and extensions and remodels just like other Animal Crossing games, which is amazing. I can't wait for that.
You see that the house designer is cool, but I think just because it's on an island getaway, I think building a house is going to be something that I don't do straight away. Maybe everything around the tent I might do. So like the furniture, everything like that. But I think I might leave it as a tent for some time.
I agree with you. Develop my campsite a little bit. That made me so happy to see that you could just totally develop outside.
So Sean's going to have like 3 million bells, and he's still going to be living in a tent with like all this stuff just massed around him.
Sean, you're going to be a billionaire.
Yeah, totally. That still lives in a tent.
So speaking of tents, on to multiplayer, which is called Party Play. And so I split this up into 2 parts because the difference between local multiplayer and online multiplayer is important. So for local multiplayer only, this is like I'm standing with my friend. He may or may not have a Switch, yada, yada. We're not doing anything online. Up to 8 residents can live on the same island using one Nintendo Switch. 4 of those residents can play simultaneously at the same time with that one Switch. And when you're playing together, 1 through 4 players, one player is the leader and they control the camera. There is no split screen. So it's not
Very
like
important.
I can be on the island doing my thing. You can be on the island doing your thing. We have to stay together. And I would imagine that the followers have very limited interactions with the space while they are followers. Because they said you can switch from being a leader to a follower. That's fine. I would have really liked to see the multiplayer developed more so that I can be on the couch playing Animal Crossing. My wife comes in and says, "Oh, can I jump in the island?" And then she can get in and just do whatever she wants, split screen style.
I think they should have done as they do in Captain Toad, where everybody can control the camera and then just watch the chaos just erupt. That would have been fantastic.
You're just an agent of chaos, aren't you, Nick? Can't wait to see your island.
They might, I don't know. Because in the video we only saw them all together. There could be an aspect of a small amount of zooming out, like on Smash Brothers. And they've got that capacity.
Maybe. But that doesn't change the fact that you're limited to what you can do as a follower. Yeah, but items you collect as a follower, you get to keep. It'll be put in the recycling bin, which is at the resident services building.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, Dan. If you collect something on my island, I'm going to run to resident services and collect all your crap. Okay? I'm just gonna be really is it communal, do you think? So if you don't get there in time, do I get to take your stuff?
Yeah, because you've got that you have the option to drop things on the floor, don't you? So
yeah. But I think once you log out, it kind of goes to your recycling box.
Yeah. So the recycling box in the town, I was very interested in this because I was like, well, wait, how do I make sure that I get the items that I collected? Like, what if making me not the jerk? What if I'm following and Dan steals all my stuff from the recycling services or Sean?
Yeah, you can swap leaders, okay? I think that's what he was saying, that if you want to do something on the island while you're there, you need to then become the leader of the party, basically, which then allows you to use the resident services for your stuff. So it'd just be a case of, I think, if you want, say like Dan's the leader, I'm following you guys around, it's like, oh, hang on, I want to put this stuff into storage. I'd then become the leader, use resident services, and then swap back to, say, like Dan being the leader again.
Yeah, and that seems pretty awesome. It seems like it's on the fly stuff.
We're going to take a quick break at this juncture, and we will be right back. We'll talk about the Nintendo Switch Online app. We'll talk about Part 2, which is the planned Deserted Island developments, and the FAQ. So we'll see you guys back in just a second. We are back, and we are talking about the Animal Crossing Direct. We're about halfway through. We didn't quite make it through all of part 1. We have to finish up with the Nintendo Switch Online app features for your smartphone. The app within the app is called Nook Link, which is a tongue twister, and it allows you to transfer patterns from New Leaf and Happy Home Designer with a QR code, which is awesome. It is awesome. Sean, how many patterns do you have that you're going to carry over?
I haven't got any yet, but now I know I can do that. So I'm going to spend a lot of time creating patterns. I'm going to try and do the dad crossing logo that we've got in the app. So
that's impressive.
Going to be very pixelated, but I'd be impressed. There's also voice chat and text chat in the app, and the app is not going to be available at launch. It'll be launching later in March, is what they said. Which is there's only 10 more days left in March after that, so we'll see. I bet that gets delayed. That's my prediction.
That's probably a good prediction. Because I mean, if they're not sure when they're going to launch it after, I mean, it's March 20th. So yeah, like you said, 10 days. I thought that same thing. I was like, I don't understand why you're not launching this the day and date.
I like the text chat part. That's currently something that you can do in New Leaf, but you have to come away from the game to do it and then to go back in. So the ability to quickly do it via the app was quite nice.
Oh, that's right. It'll like send text to the Switch. Like you can chat. That's right. Inline. That's really cool. I forgot about that.
I would really like to see them do something where you can edit those patterns on the phone, though. That would be like, I was really hoping to see something like that, because I think that would be really awesome if you could do that. That way I could have something to do when I'm adulting in meetings. I could make this better. So I'm hoping they add something like that to NookLink.
Yeah, like from Pocket, maybe in addition to Pocket Camp.
Yes, that would be really cool.
Part 2 of the video was planned deserted island developments. You choose plots for other animal resident homes. The museum is back. The Able sisters are back, which is the tailor. The campsite, which I thought was interesting. That's kind of like where other random animals show up. And
looks like your Amiibo integration.
Yeah, that's where you can scan the Amiibo cards and that character will show up. But I think even if you don't have those, it's just like random characters every once in a while will show up. You can like upgrade your campsite to make it more appealing. There is the Nook shop, it was shown off as Nook's Cranny, which is upgradable. Resident services will grow into, you can do other things. Like you can choose where facilities and houses will go and you can move them. Evaluations, tune, and flag are all returning. Those are staples of the series. And other merchants returning, such as Kix, Harvey, Celeste, Sahara, Daisy, May, and CJ.
I thought that the museum looked amazing. Like absolutely amazing compared to like how I remember it from the City Folk. I loved it. I want to fill that thing up. What do we think about the Taylor sisters? Do you think that's going to be where we do patterns, or are we only going to do them on the phone?
I think you can do them on your phone.
Yeah,
I think you can do them on your phone. The Taylor, I don't know what the Taylor's going to do if you can make patterns on your phone.
Yeah, just go there to sell pre-purchase stuff.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, exactly. The other things that we saw in the planned design development section were a magic wand, which lets you quickly change outfits. Maybe you don't own the outfits. Maybe the magic wand is like, here's a random selection of weird outfits, and you can choose whatever you want. That was showing off for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, where was that? You did a good job because I missed it.
Yeah, it wasn't like talked about. It was shown on screen as just like something that you can find or get. And I pieced together what it was.
Yeah, a bit like the tool wheel, wasn't it? So
yeah, Isabel is back.
Yeah,
Nook. There are going to be free updates for the seasonal events, which is cool. Excited to see what the events look like. And you can build ramps and bridges. I don't know if you could build ramps before. Ramps feel new.
I'd like to on New Leaf because there's a part of the island that I can't get to at all where there's a lot of shells and clams and coral sort of starting to populate the beach that I could think that is wasted bells that I can't get to.
No, I'm pretty sure that it's all new. Ramps and stairs and all that are new. You could do bridges in New Leaf and all the other stuff, right? And even in City Folk, you could do them. But
You could do bridges all the way back to the GameCube, but it's very, very difficult and it's random to where they go. So it's kind of like not very helpful.
Yeah.
Your town is very stuck where it is in GameCube. You can pave paths and roads, which is awesome. I remember doing that. You could drop patterns on the ground in Wild World, which is like the way that you kind of did that. You could like make roads, quote unquote. There's a ladder to help you climb.
I thought that was really cool.
And then there's an interesting part here that says once the island is fully decked out, whatever that means, that's what it said in the video, terrain construction and demolition to redesign the island itself. Now this is the bread and butter right here.
Lost my freaking mind when I saw this, Dan.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Oh my goodness. I cannot even tell you. Like I couldn't even think about what anything else happened. That's why I had to watch it twice. And maybe 3 times, because that I never thought they would add that to an Animal Crossing game. I thought it was absolutely amazing. The fact that you can really do anything you want with this town at this point.
No, I'm totally with you on that. It blew my mind that they were giving you that much customization over the town. They just kept showing you more and more ways to customize. And then this is like the final piece. You can pretty much do anything with your island.
But when does the island become fully decked out, and when does that become available to you? That's the question I'd be asking.
This is like some late game stuff we're talking about here. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well,
maybe it has to do with how many merchants are now available in your town, because when you start your town, you're only going to have Nook services and the airport, and then slowly more buildings are going to somehow appear on your island. I'm sure that there's some progression that, like the Nook miles, there's some progression that helps you along with that, but it is probably going to take a long time.
And I really love that. I think it's great how they're doing that, where they're just, like you said in the beginning, they're just giving you little pieces and then they're giving you more and more so that you'll have something to strive for. It's like they really have done a lot, I think, to put goals in a system, in a game that doesn't necessarily have any goals.
Yeah.
So that you're not wondering like why. The question that you always get with newbies in the Animal Crossing world is like, what do I do? Like, why am I here? What's the point of this game? Right.
Yeah. That's the question I asked.
Yeah. They're giving you event horizons and they're saying, okay, now try to do this. And now you can do this in the short term, but let's look out further. And this is what you can do. And there's just so much they have done to be like, yeah, this is what this game is. I really love that part.
Yeah. And they really did a good job with the setting. The setting's perfect for Animal Crossing.
Yep. 100%.
So jumping into part 3, which is frequently asked questions, and they certainly answered questions for us. First off, Amiibo figure and card support is going to be or is available. They were a little vague about exactly what it does. They showed somebody scanning a card, and then the card, whatever character was on the card, showed up at the campsite. And then later they showed, you want to scan KK Slider Amiibo figure. That's not compatible yet. So they were like, more compatibility to come. So I don't know what that means.
Well, I think that was they definitely are saving him. I mean, they know everybody loves him. And that was a little like tease of what's to come or what's expected. Because I mean, I was thinking that through the whole thing. They mentioned all these different people from Harvey to Sahara, but yet KK Slider is nowhere to be seen. And I like that you can't ditch KK Slider in an Animal Crossing game.
He's a staple.
Just not have him. Yeah, totally, 100%. So yeah, that was their little tease that like, don't worry, he's here, but we're gonna make it work for him probably.
There was also the mention of the Photopia Island, which is a place where you can scan items and characters in and temporarily use them to make cool photos. So that's a thing I'll probably never do, but it's interesting that it's there.
No, it's cool for those people who like it. You know, that's what this game's all about. Everybody's got their own piece for it. But yeah, I'm totally with you. I didn't do anything for me.
This next part is all about how online multiplayer will work as far as we know. So you can use temporary passwords to visit non-friends. So like I can post my island passcode on the Nintendo Dad's Discord, and everybody can just jump into my island and screw around and have fun, and we can play online and do whatever. I don't think that it said how many people online. Did it? Is it up to 8?
8 people can be. I'm pretty sure it said 8 people can play at one time as long as it's the 2 switch rule, right? I mean,
okay, so
2 switch, 2 gamer.
At least 2 switches, but that's with local. Yeah. So presumably it's the same with online. Hopefully,
yeah, you would think.
Axes and shovels are forbidden while visiting friends unless you register them as a best friend.
Dan, I promise I won't cut down your trees. I really do.
Don't believe you. I don't trust you. Neither of you are going to be my best friends because I just know the chaos is going to happen. We'll see. We might do it. We might do a thing about it. That'll be a thing.
How much destruction can you do in 10 minutes of best friendism?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How fast can you lose best friend status?
How to make friends and alienate people.
So there's just a few other details about online. We already know this, but they reconfirmed that it does not support Nintendo Switch Online Cloud Backup. They will have a different service available after launch. And then later they posted a picture that also mentioned that there will be an Animal Crossing specific tool to do system transfers, like from system to system, not online, which currently the game does not support that.
Okay, my only point of editing for this direct is this part. Why do you make an entire screen image of like cloud save backup, and then at the very bottom of the screen you put does not support but ... I was like, that just seems like the worst way to do it ever. I mean, for anybody who's not really paying attention, like if you're watching the direct and doing something else, all you saw was this gigantic full screen thing of cloud saves. I would have totally thought if I wasn't listening to it, I would have totally thought that there were cloud saves in this game.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, it's just, that was really poorly executed. Fortunately, we all already knew what they were going to say. So there is a day 1 update, which will allow you to celebrate Bunny Day.
I'm always on a Bunny Day. I'm okay. I'm not super worried. I know I took some flack on this because I posted something about it. So they're giving you these holidays in updates, right? So it doesn't seem to me like it's like previous Animal Crossings where the holidays are like baked into the software. Okay, so you know that, Bunny Day, like a toy day, Jack's gonna come around and you're gonna find him and you're gonna get what you need and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it's going to work. It seems like it's going to be more Pocket Camp-esque where they are changing those events, those holidays, each time they roll around in a way of updates. That's how it seems to me, which I'm cool with. I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that means that you're not going to celebrate Toy Day or Bunny Day if you're not online, or if in 3 years when they stop supporting this game, they'll just make the events in game just like every other Animal Crossing has ever been.
It's probably right.
And then the final detail is that there are special items as cross promotion between Pocket Camp and New Horizons. Details coming later.
Which off the back of that, I have downloaded Pocket Camp, which I actually realized I played very, very, very slightly about 520 odd days ago, to the point where I think I changed the hat on my person, and that's probably about it.
So the news here is Sean is not a new Animal Crossing player. He lied to us this whole time. He played Animal Crossing before a year ago.
That's the end of the direct. I mean, I was hype from beginning to end, and I thought it was excellent. I unfortunately have to head out, so I'm going to let you guys talk about your overall thoughts And then Nick, you can do your
I'll
outro,
send us out.
and I will see you guys on the flip side.
All right. See you, Dan. Thanks for hosting, man. You're awesome. All right, Sean. So what overall did you like? What was your high points? What was your low points? Let's go over that real quick and get a feel for what you're most excited for, what you're least excited for, anything you're worried about.
Just because, yes, I played the Pocket Camp. From what I can remember of it, it was, what am I doing? Oh my God. I got this because I think it was talked about in the Discord a little bit, and I got it just to see what the hype was. And I was like, nah, I didn't have enough time. I think at the point it came out, my son was just born. So and I was probably playing Pokemon Go and lots of other things. So I can't remember much from it, of playing it. But from New Leaf going to New Horizons, it looked amazing. It looked really well finished. And Justin joked about the water, but everything looked really, really nice. It seemed to work really well. I'm excited for the way things work. So the tool wheel looks very good. The aims and objectives with the Nook Miles, I'm very excited about that because at the moment on New Leaf, I don't know if I'm making progression but that's a way of measuring your progress. And then the terrain construction. I think that's being able to, I want the water to go this way through my island, not this way. I'd rather have had my house here than there, but you can adjust it to how you want to make the island. I think they're all things that I'm very excited for.
100%. The terrain construction just looks amazing, and the graphics are. I mean, if you look back at GameCube to City Folk, there was a small bump in New Leaf to City Folk, but the graphics in Animal Crossing have looked fairly the same. I don't know. I might take some heat for this, but I think they've looked fairly the same throughout the life of Animal Crossing. And this is the first one where, I mean, man, you put that up against City Folk, which was 10 years ago, but I mean, the difference in those graphics are phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing to see the difference.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've tried to do anything over the top, but just to polish, make everything rounded, smooth, and flow. Hence the water.
Yeah.
I haven't got anything that I'm worried about with it. It's just the online aspect I don't think it was very well explained in the direct. I think there's still a lot that's to be discovered as you play the game, as to speak. Like what you can and can't do, how many people you can have online at one time, because it's not going to be a case of, oh, I want this friend who's got this person, and this person on their Switch to come to my island. It's going to be, I want this person who's all the way over in America, and then this person that I also like to play with who's a friend of mine in the UK. Can you both come? Or how many of those people can you have in? It kind of didn't fully explain. Is it 8 different people, or is it? Yeah,
I agree. There's still some vague details that they could kind of flesh out, but I don't think it's the end of the world if they don't. I think they did enough to kind of quell the community so that now people are like, okay, we know we can make it 20 more days, or we can make it a month. Sorry, not 20. We can make it a month basically, and we'll be okay because we know the basic details. Everything looks even more amazing, at least for me, than what I had even anticipated. And so we know now that the lack of information isn't going to mean that Animal Crossing is a dud. So I think that'll make everybody sit back and take a little breath. So,
and they definitely reinforce that we are on track with the release for March 20.
Yes. Yeah. Like, don't worry. We're not telling you anything because we're not going to make it or anything like that. Yeah. No, I totally agree that they did what they had to do, and probably actually a little bit more. I mean, they showed us more than they probably had to. But I was glad they showed everything they did. So what do you What do you think about the fact that there are no cloud saves and there are no switch to switch transfers?
They said there was no cloud saves, but they're putting something in place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that going to be do you have to have a subscription for that because it's outside of the Nintendo Switch Online? Or is it going to be, you bought the game, so you're invested in it, so the support service is there free of charge? It's kind of like we don't do it, but we can, if you're really desperate, you can pay like £9 for the year and we'll keep it backed up for you just in case. How difficult is it going to be to get your island back if everything is gone? It's like, what do you have to prove? And
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I had assumed that you would need Nintendo Switch Online. I guess I'm trying to. I can't remember if that was in there or not, and I just missed it. But I don't remember right offhand if that was in there. But yeah, I kind of thought you would need it. The difficulty of how you're going to have to get that back. That's a really good question. I'm feeling you're going to have to prove that you give your firstborn child just to be able to get that back. Nintendo's not just going to give you back that. You're going to have to prove that your console had an issue or that something happened before they're going to give that back. Also, they never mentioned if you had data failure. So not that you lost your Switch or your Switch died, but what if you just have corrupt save data? Like, will they do it for that? Will they do it for something just like that, or not so much? Very interested how that works.
Yeah, it might. We could be looking at this in a very incorrect way, in the fact that as long as your Nintendo Switch Online account's got its own address, your cart's probably got its own address, as in the serial number embedded in the cart is such and such and such. So say, you do have a massive, corruption, that's the word I was looking for, in your data. Mm-hmm. That when you log in, is there a behind the scenes handshake between their cloud base that they've got, not the Nintendo Switch Online, and that car and your Nintendo Switch Online account, and all three of them have got to be synced together. So it's we see like that you've got a previous save to what we have. Do you want to back up from, or which one do you want to carry on with? That might be a question every time you boot up, but we'll see. Yeah. It's an unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. For just high level stuff, I am glad they're coming up with a solution to what will be a problem at some point for somebody, right? Maybe not me, maybe not you, but somebody's going to have an issue. They're going to lose it. Something's going to happen. So I'm glad they've come up with a backup system that works for them. I am also glad, and I don't know how other people feel about this. I am glad that they recognized that people in the world can be dumb and hack stuff and try to break stuff, and that if they don't do something, there's a way that that your town could be hurt or something like that. I don't think this is like Nintendo's like, I don't want people to have a couch before they're supposed to. I think they're genuinely concerned about, are they going to be able to come to my town and utterly ruin it to where it is you can't play in it anymore. And so I think they really are looking out for our best interest in what they're doing. I don't know. I might be being naive. I might be giving them too much of a pass. I'm not certain, but I think that's what they're doing, because in my mind, it takes more work for them to come up with this whole other system to back stuff up than to just be like, you know what, give them cloud saves, let it happen. Whatever happens, we don't really care. They're putting a lot of engineering work, I would think, into this backup system that's just for this game.
Yeah, it's very dedicated. So that's so I have a question of, I'm very new to the franchise. You're very old in the tooth to the franchise. Is there anything that you think they could have shown us better in the direct, or is there anything that you hope they release soon after the release of the game?
Well, thanks for saying I'm long in the tooth in the game, because you could have just said I'm long in the tooth. So no, I'm just kidding. The only thing I'd like, they showed so much. So one, I really kind of think they did a good job between showing just enough. I mean, Animal Crossing is all about discovery, right? So if you're not an exploration, so if you don't want to see everything, I don't want to see everything. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here kind of looking for every nugget of information, but I think this direct did a good job of showing us what we wanted to see. They could have done a better job, I think, to explain the party mode and how that works and what happens there and how many people and how many switches and all that stuff. But the only thing, no, I cannot think of anything that I wish for or anything like that. I do hope that we're all wrong and that the Nook Link app does release within March, because I think that's a really cool feature. I would love to have you guys over to the town or come over to your town and do the text chat or voice chat or something like that. And I hope that stuff works, right? I mean, voice chat on the Nintendo Switch Online app has not been fantastic. In fact, I know a lot of people in the NDADS community actually go onto the NDAD Discord and use the Discord chat instead, because Nintendo Switch Online app is choppy and it just doesn't work great and stuff like that. So, but no, I can't think of anything other than that, other than those 55 items I just gave you. So no Switch. The only other thing I have, and I know Marty's been bringing this up, and I'm sure, I don't know if they're podcasting right now or not, but he's probably talking about it, is the fact that you can't transfer between switches. You can't transfer your save data. Are you a one Switch or two Switch family? I don't know, John.
We're a one Switch family.
So you're like, I don't care at all, whatever.
It's not that I don't care at all.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's just because the way gaming works in our house is it's very centralized. Apart from the eldest daughter's got her own TV in her room, but we only have 2 TVs in the house, even though there's 5 of us that live here. It's just not a need for everybody to have their own Switch. So, because I can't play on it all the time as much as I'd like to. So if the daughters want to play it, they know where it is. They come and pick it up. They play it handheld, or if they're the only one in the house, they just play it on the TV. So
sure. We have 2 Switches. One that's kind of like the family's and one that's mine. I have a Switch Lite. And this is a bummer. Specifically, I didn't think I would really care. Kind of, I guess, taking a step back, we did learn also that, so the Dad Crossing crew had hoped that we would all have a town that we could be in, that we could be each other's, we could be in each other's town, and we could have a town together, and we could just do crazy stuff to each other, and I could just hit Dan in the head with a net, stuff like that. But that doesn't seem like that's going to be possible, because it seems like you have to be in the town, you have to have a profile on the Switch. It doesn't look like you can come to somebody else's town or go to somebody's town, but to actually be a villager in the town, it has to be on that Switch. Is that how you?
Yeah, I think I messaged about that last night after I watched the direct. It seemed that we'd need to maybe have a dedicated host that we had that for. I'm not sure with the backup system that they've got, are they going to allow that? Because obviously Nintendo they pushed it really for people to have more than one Switch in the household with the Switch Lite. So we might find that when you get the game, you could maybe jump between. It's unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's very much the unknown. So right now there's no transfer Switch to Switch, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And they did specifically say that they're like, no, right as of right now or something like that. It came out that that's what was going on. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that for the sake of yourself and other people with more than one Switch, it's you don't want you wouldn't want to use the main family Switch, because if you do any traveling or you can't take it to work. If in your lunch you think, I'm going to pop in and do this, do that, do the other, it kind of limits it then, because if you take that away with you, the little ones, when they get home, are going to be like, Dad stuck the switch. Drats.
Yeah.
So, but then in the same case, you could, there's accessories out there which allow you to dock your Switch Lite to a TV, but for you to be able to share that then with the family, I believe there's stuff out there, isn't there, that you...
I don't think the Switch Lite, you're thinking of the Genki dock, and that can be for the Switch Lite has no ability to dock. They've literally taken those guts out of it. So yeah, there's no way to do that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Genki dock for. I'm probably saying that all wrong, by the way, because I didn't back it. I'm not. So I'm sure somebody can slaughter me for that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and that's why it's difficult for me, because it's like, well, I was gonna have an NDAD's server or an NDAD's island and like a family island, and now it's like, well, I don't need an NDAD's island because they won't let me. And so now I'm like, well, now it is kind of my problem too, because I would love to transfer my town back and forth and back and forth. But you can't. So I'll probably still have 2 islands, one just all by myself that nobody can touch and I won't let anybody see or anything like that, so they can't chop down my trees. And then I'll have a family island that my son Noah will probably destroy every day, and so that'll be fun. So
yeah, it's a shame that they make the party play so family based, and it's a very family friendly game to play, but then restrict you on being able to share that as a family. Yeah. I suppose that local connection is why that's there. So you can all go into each other's islands too.
All right. Before we wrap this thing up, do you have anything else that you want to add, Sean?
No. That direct, Dan has covered that really, really well in how it was all captured. It's like, I'm just going to have to go back and look at those fine prints. That's the only two. There's 2 of those in the whole direct that I need to look at, because, like I said, I was watching Justin at the time, and he was very, very excited. So
Justin can get very, very excited when it comes to these things, for sure. So yeah, me neither. By the next time you hear from us, folks, I'm sure that I will have rewatched the direct 25 times. So I can't wait to pull out more stuff that we'll probably have for you. But this is it, guys. Dad Crossing is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. We want to say thanks for listening. You can find new Nintendo Dads content wherever podcasts are found. If you have questions or comments, reach out to us on Twitter at ndadcrossing or dadcrossing@gmail.com. We want to give the Nintendo Dads a big thanks for making this craziness happen. For Dan Caparello, Sean Abbott, and myself, Nick Metzger, hope your village is sunny and your villagers are happy. See you later, villagers.
I've had a resident move out of my town.
No! Well, maybe no. Are you happy or sad that they've moved out of the town?
I know, it was Peaches, so...
she's pretty cool.
Peaches.
He's back.
Are made by a man, put in a can in a factory downtown.
And if I had my little way, I'd eat peaches every day.